No, I just need to move this for a second. And next time a bit. Before I start, you'll find out that I'm a bottom mind and a top of body, and after I finish the speech, you'll kind of understand what that means. Okay, well, thank you. I'm ready. Thank you, Mike. The Ayurveda's philosophy is that, well, the world is made of 5 elements. There's air, earth, water, fire, and something we call ether, space. And Ayurveda believes, its belief is that our bodies are a microcosm of the world because our bodies hold all 5 elements. We're made up of those 5 elements. And then Ayurveda takes further those 5 elements and places them into 3 different categories called doshas. And those doshas are in everything. There's vata weather, there's kapha weather, there's seasons, there's food that has vata qualities or kapha qualities or pitta qualities. And so our bodies have those 3, all 3 doshas in them, and that's what makes our bodies move, as you'll see through the speech. And when we were born, we had this dosha quality that we were born with, and life and age and weather and food and issues in our life, and everything affects that. And even though we have that core dosha still in us, we may look different, we may feel different than those doshas. But if you want to find what your true dosha was when you were born, go look at a picture of yourself when you were like 3 to 4 years old. Unless you had some really bad illnesses, your body type is going to be that kind of body type, which you'll understand again when I start talking about body types. Your personality was a certain dosha type. And how, if you were lucky enough to have someone who knew you when you were 3 to 5, 7 years old, ask them what you were like, what kind of personality you had, and that is your true personality type. So what is that? What are these? What am I talking about? Let's start with if you looked on your chart, Vata. Vata is a combination of air and space. We need, in our bodies, excuse me, I've had a cold. Get my water. Thank you. In our bodies, Vata is what makes the air move, what makes our fluids move in our body. So it's the movement in our body. And space is really important. We don't think about how space is important in our bodies, but if, excuse me, if you've ever been in a room and it gets crowded and crowded and more crowded and more crowded, and you start like feeling like you can't breathe and you have no space, you start getting hot, your mind starts like, how am I going to get out of here? You start getting nervous, your body starts revving up, and your heart rate jumps, and your blood pressure probably jumps. But as the room thins out and your body starts to be able to get into its own space, your mind quiets, your heart rate quiets, your body starts to cool off. And so space is really important in your body because if your organs are squished together, they're having the same kind of stress you just felt when you're in a space like that. So when your organs have space to do what they need to do and live, they're going to be in better shape and better physical shape too, and work better for your body. So space and air are very important. And the qualities, I'm going to give qualities of what Vata is, what a body quality of what people who are Vata looking, personality Vatas, and then when they go off balance, and just a very simple thing to put it back in balance. So the qualities of Vata are cool and mobile. And a person who looks like a Vata is a thin person, fair skin, blonde hair, blue eyes. Their bone structure is dainty, and it's the total model type that we all want to look like. And the quality of a personality of a Vata is creative and bubbly and outgoing and effervescent. But when they get too much Vata, too much air and space, they become spacey, airhead. They're nervous and flighty. They might be even manic. And so when you have too much space, it's kind of like you're not contained. So what helps a Vata get back into a balance is routine. Vatas hate routine. Schedules. Doing things, eating lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the same time, going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time every day. That helps control the air and control the space. And it also helps you get your mind more focused again. So that is Vata. Pitta is water and fire. And in our bodies, it's our digestion. It's when we get an idea how it digests into our body and goes through our nervous system. When we eat something, it's the digestion of our food turning into fuel, and then the fuel being digested and further into waste. So when the qualities of a pitta are oily and warm, fluid and light. So a pitta person, if you saw a pitta person, they would also have some qualities of Vata. They're thin, they're light, they're fair skinned, but they further go into freckles and blue or green eyes and red hair, and they have an intense personality. The personality of a pitta person is organized, a go-getter, intelligent. Think of an A-type personality. That's a pitta person. And if there's too much fire going on in their bodies, whether they're eating or doing too much activity, that intelligence can go to anger and judgment. The go-getting can go into lust. And so they get too much going on, and the balance for a pitta person is moderation, is maybe not working so hard. Instead of going out and jogging, taking a nice run or a swim, meditation, eating cooler foods, not going into hot spaces, cooling the whole body down, the whole mind down. The last one is Kapha. Kapha is earth and water, and it's a very stable dosha. In our bodies, it's our bones, our joints, the structure of our body, our skin, what keeps us stable and together. And the qualities of a Kapha person is heavy, oily, moist, cool. You're looking at a Kapha body. Kapha bodies are earthy. They got good muscle, strong bones. They're thick and they're meaty, and they're sturdy people. They've got dark hair, usually dark skin. Actually pittas are dark skin. Kaphas are light skin, dark eyes. So you can see I have a lot of Vata in me, in personality. I'm a combination. Nobody is just one or the other. You kind of have a little bit of everything, and it shows up this way. So when I said I have a Vata mind, I am kind of spacey, but I've got a Kapha body and a Kapha heart. The personality of a Kapha is loyal, compassionate, thoughtful. Good memory, not so much. That's my Vata. But a good Kapha has a good memory. So, being that we're earthy, when we get too much Kapha in it, we get nerves. We kind of slow down. We don't do much. We don't move, and Kaphas tend to have depression. So, as you saw with Pitta and with Vata and Pitta, the answers were kind of yeah, duh, no, duh. If there's too much space, bring in your space. If there's too much heat, cool it off. Well, with Kapha, it's movement. But if anybody is Kapha here and you get lethargic, the last thing you want to do is move. You've got to get that fire going. So going and running, doing some fast exercise, or singing, dancing, something that brings that earth up again, kind of fire and air. But you got to watch out, because if you start moving too much, you might go into that spacey airhead nervousness, or if you get too much fire going, you could end up being angry and frustrated, like over Pitta. So Ayurveda is all about knowing what's going on in your body, seeing what's going on in the world. Maybe maybe it's too hot outside, you need to go in and cool off. Maybe the food you ate too many peppers last night, and you need to eat more cooling food. So it's all about learning about balance. So this morning I gave you a nutshell of how Ayurveda works in the world, how your body and your mind and even your personality can be adjusted by food or exercise or thoughts or just people you're with. So I hope that you will go home and Google dosha test, take your list home, and maybe even while I was talking, you were identifying yourself or other people that I was talking about, and you saw, oh, they're a Vata, oh, they're a Kapha, or what you are. see that the nature, I'm gonna end this right, that you will begin to discover the natural approach that Ayurveda gives you to come back to health